Hello and welcome to Joanne's Healing Within. I am your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your certified holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, medical astrologer, master of numerology, and the creator of the Chakra Balance Numerology Cosmic Energy Forecast Deck. Yeah, it's a long name. I know. I'm also a mom and a wife, and I'm here in 2021 helping you so you can see yourself as the best version of how I already see you. So with all that being said, how are you on this amazing first Sunday of the new month, August? Yes, it is. We are now in August and first Sunday, Leo season. We'll get into that in just a moment. I'd like to remind you to share, like, and comment on today's show because there is a raffle giveaway which will take place at the end of the show. And I'll be announcing last week's raffle giveaway as well. So there's a lot going on. So share, like, and comment on today's show. Want to go ahead and give a shout out to all of our advertising sponsors, as there are a lot of them. Let me just make sure I have the right notes here. There we go. So here we go. And there's a flyer to go with this. So if you don't follow me, just look at the flyer. We have Nick Rafter, who is our one and only journalist, writer, and editor, and he's a real estate agent as well. So you can connect with him if you are looking for a new home, a new apartment, or you want to get that blog or article out there. Then Joe Monkman, he is a shamanic healing practitioner and wellness advocate. If you haven't caught his healing demonstration that he did, I don't know now, I think it's about 6 weeks ago, I highly invite you to go and check out Roku, YouTube, or even come and check us out on Strong Island Television because it was an amazing healing demonstration. All the healers that come on and give demonstrations are amazing, but his just stands out a little bit more just based on the work that was done that day. And you'll have to go and check it out. Then we have Lisa, and I always screw up her last name. I think it's Parenzo, if I said that right, Parenzo. She's the CEO and founder of The Healthful Life. She was on the show, what was it, 2 weeks ago, and she will be back again. I believe the third week in August. So we will be chatting more about a healthful life and many things that she does. Then we have CJ Ives Lopez. She's the host of the Author's Porch, and also she has launched her very first magazine. So for those of you who do want to write an article, get an ad going, or anything in the nature of media, please reach out to her. And then Kendrick Greer, our famous Kendrick Greer. He's our astrologer. There's a lot going on with astrology. He was actually our guest from, I think it was last week's show. So if you did not catch him from last week, he shared a lot of insight. Please go back and watch. Again, Roku, YouTube, or you can watch it here as well. And I think there's a flyer with his insight as well. And last but not least, which is our guest for today, Natai Bradbury. He is the founder of the Mystic Warrior Academy. And he and I are going to be chatting it up in a little while. But before we go there, I always like to bring you some insight to what's going on in the cosmic world. What is going on in the cosmic world? And then also I like to help you get your energy aligned with a reading and connecting with one chakra. But before we go there, let's talk about what's going on in the cosmic world right now, because there's a lot. If you've been following the show on a regular basis, we currently have 5 planets in retrograde, and those planets are Pluto, Saturn. I'm gonna have to read them because sometimes I forget. Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, Neptune, and Chiron are all in retrograde right now. Feel free to go back and check out all of my shows because I speak about them. Go back and check out last week's show because Kendrick spoke about them. And we also have, and I'm sure there's a specific name for it, but I don't know what the name is. But we have several planets that are in the same zodiac sign. So I truly believe, and from my own experience, I believe that when we have more than one planet in a zodiac sign, creates a lot of energy. And then we have like a triple effect, so to speak. And what I mean by that, and I'll just go right into it. We have Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius energy. So that's 2 planets sitting in Aquarius energy. Aquarius is all about humanity, the community, your friendships. And there you have Saturn and Jupiter playing a role there. Saturn is about organization, structure, and discipline. Jupiter is about expansion, gifts, and abundance. And if you haven't heard, Jupiter actually did what we call a dipping back, because recently Jupiter was in retrograde in Pisces. It's still in retrograde, but now it's in Aquarius. So that itself says a whole lot of something. Whole lot of something. And I could probably spend a whole hour today on the show and just talk about astrology, but that's not what we're here to do. So the next set of planets that share the same zodiac sign are Mars and Venus, but they're not in retrograde right now. Mars is our planet of aggression and let's get going. It's like a action planet. And Venus is more love, money, and relationship planet. And they're both sitting in Virgo energy. Virgo is associated with the sixth house, which is all about discipline, scheduling, your health, your diet, and exercise. So that might be weighing on your mind right now. And because it is in Mars, it's like, maybe I got to get my butt back into the gym. But because it's in Venus, you're trying to be a little gentle on yourself, especially if you're one of those out there who put on what they call the COVID, I think it's the COVID-19 or 15 pounds. Some people are even calling it the 22 pounds now, whatever the case is. So if you are, be gentle, but get your butt back into the gym. And then the next set of planets that share the same zodiac sign, I'm just trying to remember them here, is, how could I forget, is the Sun and Mercury. And they share the zodiac sign of Leo, which is the season we're in. Now, the Sun obviously is the Sun energy. That's all about our spiritual awareness, and also about who we are as a human. So that balance between the two. And then when you think about Mercury's communication. So it's how we are speaking, how we are sharing, how we are networking with one another. Leo is all about the fifth house energy, which is playful, loving, creative, full of drama. So the entire season of Leo, we're going to be exaggerating everything. So something that might not be so big of a deal, we're going to be making really big. And that's everything and anyone, because we're all connected to the Leo season. So as I just shared, yes, we have double planets in certain zodiac signs, which that itself means something tremendous, so to speak. And now just recently, July 15th, what was that, maybe 2 weeks ago, Chiron went retrograde. Chiron is our planet of the wounded healer. And that's associated with Aries energy right now, because that's where it's retrograde. And Aries is first house. So when we think about the wounded healer, that's really who we are. You know, it's all about ourselves. So it may very well, that energy may well be causing you to really think about things that bothered you when you were a child, you know, whether it was something traumatic, you know, major trauma, or little somethings. Doesn't matter how big or small that is, but that's what Chiron is doing. And I'm going to leave you with this, because I like to always leave people sitting at the edge of their chair and being in a state of suspense, so to speak. By the third week in August, we will have 6 planets in retrograde. That's right, 6 planets. That's a lot of friggin' planets in retrograde. But that doesn't end there, because we'll also have 7 planets in retrograde as we move into October. So it's only going to get more wild. So stay tuned for the update regarding the 6th planet that's going to go retrograde in the month of August. And then I'll be sharing all about the 7 planets in retrograde in October, because that's going to be some interesting things. So with all that being said, let's share a little bit of alignment. How can you align your energy so you can really benefit from this energy that we have going on right now? Because again, if you're not aware, our chakra system literally runs up our spine from our tailbone all the way to the top of our head. And what chakras really means, it's a wheel or a disc. And when we think about a wheel or disc, it means it turns. Now, as long as your chakras are turning within energetically, externally, things are moving as well. But most of the time, there's always going to be 1 or 2 chakras that are a little slower, sluggish, or even worse, blocked. And that's what I want to help you with for today. So let me shuffle up my cards. And all I'm asking you to do is just asking yourself, what do I need to focus on for today? to take advantage of today's energy. And know that today's moon is in Taurus energy. That's associated with our neck, our throat chakra, our thyroid gland, and I believe there's one more piece of information there, and vocal cords too. So that's all related to Taurus, and it's in the moon energy. So how is all of that feeling? So let me see. Let's see what card. All right. Our card for today, which happens to be in reverse. Now, for those watching on a regular basis, reverse cards means we need to pay attention to this. We need to pay attention. The chakra associated is third eye. And what I've come to see and learn from a lot of people, a lot of us are stressing over our finances. A lot of us are sitting in a space of thinking we don't have enough. We don't have enough. So if you have that mindset of not having enough, you are literally blocking yourself from financial abundance. So I'm inviting you today to shift that mindset and know that the universe has your back and you're definitely going to have enough. So go ahead and invest in whatever it is you want to invest in, whatever opportunities that are knocking at your door. Do not say no because you don't have your finances in order, because that's literally blocking you from having more money. If I can't say that any clearer, I don't know how much more clearer I can get with that. The numbers 1 and 7. 1 is really a new way of looking at money. 1 is really a new way of attracting money. So as long as you are in the mindset of not having enough, that's exactly what's going to show up. So start stating, and this is my mantra: I create money easily, frequently, and in large amounts. I create money easily, frequently, and in large amounts. Yes, you do. I use my creativity to attract financial abundance. I use my creativity to attract financial abundance. And your creativity is what's going to help you attract that financial abundance. 7 is about how you reflect on your money. If you are sitting there stressing over every little dollar, you are literally blocking yourself from having money. That 8 is about the harmony. It's also about the karmic lesson that you might have with money. So this might run a little deeper than the surface. So you might need a little clearing in that energy to be in financial abundance. But the most important factor here is third eye. If you want to start attracting financial abundance, you need to start visualizing that you already have financial abundance. So start creating your financial abundance. So with that being said, I've shared a lot with you. Remember to share, like, and comment on today's show. I would love to know your point of view on your money. What is your relationship with money? And considering, again, Venus and Mars are sharing in Virgo energy. Virgo is all about organizing and scheduling and planning. And, it's about health and wellness as well. But the health portion could be relating to the stress that you are doing by thinking you don't have enough money. So change that mindset. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when I come back, I promise you, I'm going to have my guest with me. I'll be right back.
Hi everyone, I'm Natan Bredbury. I'm a veteran, Kabbalist, mystic, coach, and spiritual mentor. I have been blessed to help many students on their spiritual journey over the last 20 years. I am currently the founder of the Mystic Warrior Academy, and what we're doing is we're helping veterans heal from the inside out, overcome any sort of emotional trauma that they've been through. So if you're a veteran, a therapist, or a coach, and are interested in learning more about our program, you can contact us directly at info@mysticwarrioracademy.com. Blessings.
Hi guys, I'm Kendrick Cortez Greer, personal astrologer and astrological counselor here in Brooklyn, New York. I've been an astrologer for over 23 years now, providing astrological readings, counseling sessions, workshops, and corporate events all throughout the tri-state area. I've been very blessed and lucky to have clients all throughout the United States and beyond. If you're interested in a reading that is warm, heartfelt, honest, and conducive to speaking to one of your best friends, please contact me at 917 863-7528. You can also email me at kendrickstar@gmail.com. That's Kendrick, STAR, @gmail.com. And for you Insta people, find me on Instagram at Kendrick Cortez Astrology. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Toodles.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. I am your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, and I have my amazing guest, which I'm going to put you on pause just for a second. You can see them, but I just want to again remind you of our card reading for those of you who are just tuning in with us, who've missed the first portion of the show. You didn't miss much, just a little bit of introduction about the cosmic energy that's going on, and also about our card for today, which was in reverse. Reverse just means you need to pay attention, and I think this is a really good one. Financial abundance, and I think it really holds, it's going to lead right into the topic for today, I believe. Who knows? But most important, tapping into your third eye so you can create the financial abundance you're looking to create. Because when you do not think you have enough of money, that's going to actually block you from having money. So you really have to change the mindset, and you got to start asking and then being ready to receive. And those are the two words that lead us into the conversation for today. So with that being said, I'd like to introduce Natad Bradbury. He's been on the show more times than I can count. I think more times than 10 times. I feel like it is. How are you, Natad?
You know, I am doing amazing today. It's funny. I started off the day kind of in a very, very weird energy, right? Like I felt very insular, but as the day's kind of gone on, I've kind of opened up and relaxed a bit, and I'm out at the lake with my family, and it's nice.
Well, you definitely had a really good place to raise your energy level being by water. So that's always
Oh,
a good thing. Yeah. And I mean, talking about the cosmic energy earlier, I mean, that makes a lot of sense to why you might have been a little low energy, because there is a lot of energy. And you're going to be hearing me say this a lot, especially during the month of August. I mean, if we thought there was a lot of energy from, let's say, January through July, August is going to outpower the last 7 months.
wow, buckle up.
So yeah, buckle up, and also make sure we align our chakras daily, because that's really the root of it all. As long as we are tapping into our chakra system, we could very well get into this energy and benefit from it. So I'm glad that you brought that up. So our topic for today, and I just want to give our viewers just a little bit of insight here. For the last 8 weeks, minusing last week, because I think the class ended 2 weeks ago, right, Nate?
Ooh,
This
I
was
think it's
the
about a week
first
ago.
Friday first Wednesday we didn't meet, right?
Right, yeah. So I think, yeah, right about 2 weeks, roughly.
Okay, yes. So I had participated in an 8-week class, as Todd was our presenter. We're going to call him the presenter here. And the class itself was all about femininity and masculine energy. And I went in knowing a lot about it, but as I set in as a student, I realized, like, wow, I thought I knew a lot about it, but I learned so much more than I even thought I was going to even learn. So, Natad, if you don't mind just explaining to our viewers exactly what the class was about, like all 8 weeks, so to speak, and then we're going to just, talk a little bit about it today, and then every day from this point on, every week, we'll add more to this.
Sure. So really, like the 8 weeks, like you said, the foundational class, it talks about what actually is masculine energy and feminine energy, right? And that sets the tone for the entire 8 weeks, right? So whatever you think you know about masculine feminine energy, I'm going to tell you it's wrong, right? Western society, like, they've got it completely flipped on its head. Masculine is feminine and feminine is masculine. So perfect example of that. Okay. For a very long time, we've heard stories, and I've heard this too, right? That women are very, very, quote unquote, emotional creatures. Um, Guess what? Men are more emotional than women, and that's by design, because that's masculine energy. Okay. And women in feminine energy, it's more intense, it's more aggressive, it's more assertive, and again, that's by design, right? So what you think you know about masculine and feminine energy, yeah, I'm going to tell you it's wrong.
Yeah, it is.
It's completely backwards. It's backwards.
Exactly. I mean, I was blown away, just on our first class. I was like, okay, like what? Like, wait a minute. That's not what I thought. So yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah, and you know, you're absolutely right, right? Like, um, the so the entire right, so the 8 weeks really the masculine and feminine energy that sets the tone, that lays the foundation, and then we talk about, you mean, we delve into all sorts of topics, right? We talk about manifesting. What actually does it take to manifest? What's the energy of manifestation? We talk about your emotions and really how your emotions and how you feel about your emotions, how you react to your emotions creates your reality, right? And so that's those are some of the things we delve into with the class, and we go deep, right? Like, I mean, we talked about worlds and universes, and you know, what you speak creates your reality, and I mean, we, as usual, right? Like, we go deep. We don't stay at the surface. We go right into the meat.
Exactly, exactly. So Nata, let's give our viewers a sample of how we go deep. And I'm trying in my head to try to remember like something we spoke of in the class, and it's so bad because I'm like, I was a student. I don't have my notebook from all what I wrote. So can you remember? Of course you can, because you put the darn course together. What is like one of the topics that we can actually talk about today?
Okay, so the an example, right, of how deep we go. Abracadabra, right? And so everybody's heard this. We've all seen Harry Potter, and right, we've heard the terms. So it's actually an Aramaic phrase, and it means I create what I speak. So the words you speak creates your reality, right? Okay, so it starts with a thought, and then it's an emotion, and then it's the words you say. So if you say, for example, okay, well, I suck, I'm a loser, blah, 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 right? Then that's going to be your reality, right? But if you
Yes.
say, I'm amazing, I'm awesome, I'm loved, I'm accepted, then that's going to be your reality, right? And so to go very, very deeply in that, the Kabbalah brings down that with by your words you are either creating or destroying entire worlds, entire universes. um, to give an example of that, and I'm going to tie it in with quantum physics because they tie in very nicely. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
quantum physics teaches us that reality is actually a multiverse, right? So it's not just one universe on one timeline. It's whatever I say, whatever decision I make creates an alternate reality, right? So with each decision I make, an alternate reality spins off. And so there's an infinite number of realities, right? And so by your words, by your saying, I will do this, okay, that is the reality you're creating, right? And so by following through on what you're saying you will do, I'll give a mundane example. I'll take out the trash, right? I mean, that's very common within a relationship. The wife or the spouse, they ask their husband, you know, can you take out the trash? Husband says, okay, sure, no problem, I'll take out the trash. But he doesn't do it. So
Mm-hmm.
what he's actually done by not following through on what he's created, he's destroyed an entire universe.
Mm, yes, yes. And
Boom,
and and
gone.
when you think of that, I mean, going back to the card that we had for today, I think this is a perfect example too, in reference to how often people sit back and say they don't have enough money to invest in something they're looking to invest in.
Sure.
And then because they're creating that thought process, not only are they creating a lack of money for themselves, but like you said, they're also creating this universal energy of a lot more people not having enough money to support. So then we run into this whole domino effect of a lot of people not having enough money because of that one person's thought. And
True.
and we sit back and say, wow, that one person's thought is that powerful?
It is. It absolutely is. And so that's another area we went deep in that there's this concept within psychology called the collective conscious and the collective unconscious, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so the thoughts of one person affect the entire collective conscious thought and the entire collective unconscious thought.
Yes, which I mean, when you think about it, it's like, wow. And it really gets to the point where we really have to evaluate, not even evaluate, but we really have to like step back and become more aware of what it is we were actually saying to thinking to ourselves, and what actions and are we either doing or not doing. You know,
Right.
are we maintaining the commitments that we're actually saying, no matter how small the commitment is, such as throwing out the damn garbage? Who would know? Throwing out
Right.
garbage would create such a explosive process of like, okay, so he or she is not following through on the commitment they made.
Right.
You know, so it is really interesting on this whole process of the feminine and masculine energy. You know, and I'm loving the fact on how you had said where men are more emotional than women are. So let's talk about that just for a bit, because I'm sure that women are sitting there saying, really? I don't see my husband react at all. You know, we have a conversation, there's not a tear that comes out of his eyes, and you know, he's supposed to be more emotional than me. Meanwhile, my eyeballs are like red and swollen because I've been crying for hours at a time. So let's talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah, and you know what, and it's very interesting because in I'll say Western culture, right? Because in Eastern culture it's a lot different, but in Western culture, men are taught to suppress their emotions, right? We're taught men don't cry, men don't do this, we don't do that, we don't express ourselves emotionally. But you know, it's very, very interesting when it comes to love, when it comes to falling in love. Who falls in love first? It's always the man,
How
always.
so? How
Well,
so?
because the man always gets emotionally attached, right? And it's the man who is the first to say "I love you." It's the man who writes the love poems. It's the man who writes the love songs, right?
Do you see this face I'm making at you? I'm like, wait a minute.
Right.
So you're sitting here literally saying live with the audience here that men are the ones to say I love you first?
Generally
Maybe
speaking,
maybe
generally
they're
speaking,
thinking it. Maybe
generally speaking, right? And let me contextualize.
you went on mute, Nataid. You're on mute.
This. But you know, like for example, right? Like a man is going to fall for a woman first before she falls for him, right? And like there are literally dating coaches and relationship coaches that teach a man full don't emotions engage with women and so forth and things like that are things that we have to learn as men, right? Uh, so, like, for example, you know, I was kind of like, where are you? So, you know, I again, emotionally speaking, men get more engaged faster than women do. And uh, that's one example, right, of how his emotions play out.
And it's so it's interesting that here we are having this conversation about supposedly, and I'm using the word supposedly because I'm a little doubtful on this for right now, and I'm allowed to be. It's okay, you know, where theoretically that the man is the one that says they love you first, and the man shows all the emotions. But it's quite interesting because right now specifically, and I want to point this out. We're going to bring this over just for a moment to our cosmic energy, where Mars and Venus, which are basically masculine and feminine planets. Mars is the masculine energy, Venus is the feminine energy, and they're both sitting in Virgo right now. And when we think about Virgo energy, Virgo is all about more of health, fitness, and um, like being disciplined about doing it. So it's more like material things, where when it was sitting in Leo energy just a couple of weeks ago, Leo is more of the love, romance, softer zodiac sign. So when we think about this feminine and masculine energy, especially now, it's like it's one of the things like my astrologist said last week in our show, that men and women, not just specifically the men, that we may not be verbalizing our love for one another right now as much as we might be showing it, such as taking out the garbage or doing the dishes or writing out the checkbook for the other one, still doing it in that way. So I do find this really interesting on the whole process of like, the feminine and the masculine role, and recognizing that we, as men and women, we have both within our system. It's not like we have one over the other. Now let's talk a little bit too, because I know we spoke about this. I don't know if we actually spoke about it in class, but I know you and I spoke about it during our own one-on-one conversations. But this whole process, and I hate to point out the women here, but the whole process on how women sit back and say they don't need a man to support them. Let's talk about that a little bit. Because I know that was a topic you and I were like, wow, that's like something we have to change here. So let's talk about that.
Sure. So, I mean, really, that energy of, quote unquote, I don't need. See, we heard a lot from women, right? I don't need a man. Okay, when you're talking about that, right? Like when you're bringing forward the energy, I mean, really, what you're doing is you're blocking the masculine. You're blocking that masculine energy, right? And as I said, we both have masculine and feminine energy within us, right? And it flows through us, and it expresses itself differently, right? And so express self as at times as feminine energy was the energy of rest and restoration, right? And then as masculine energy, which is energy of going out doing and conquering and that sort of.
Yes, yes. What I like to do is I like to take a quick commercial break. So, but before we do that, Natalia, let them know how they can reach you.
Absolutely. So you can reach me at info@holisticwarrioracademy.com.
Okay, we're going to take that quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to continue that conversation because I think it's a really important one. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Nick Rafter, journalist, writer, editor. I'm happy to be offering copy editing and line editing services at competitive industry rates. If you have a book or any document that needs to be edited and thoroughly looked through, please contact me at nickrafter@gmail.com. Let's discuss how to get that work done. That's Nick Rafter, NICKRAFTER, @gmail.com. I hope to hear from you soon.
Hey guys, welcome. We are back on the Author Sports. I am so excited to be here with my co-host Anastasia. How you doing, girl?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am good. It's so good to see you again. We don't get to see each other very often. We might have to do this every week, right? Tonight we are also talking with Scott.
There is no one-size-fits-all diet plan, so why would your fitness routine be any different? At A Healthful Life, we believe that fitness and conditioning should be tailored to you, and that's why we're offering a free consultation to anyone who reaches out to us right now. Mention this ad and you'll receive 20% off of your 90-day personalized fitness program. Visit ahealthfullife.org now to begin your journey to a more healthful you. ahealthfullife.org.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, and we're having a little technical difficulties. Why not? I mean, after all, there is a lot of energy going on, and even with our planets, even though we're not in Mercury retrograde, sometimes technology gets a little fuzzy. So I'm sure Natada is going to be joining us back in a little while, and when he does, I'm sure we'll dive right into the conversation. But meanwhile, what I'll do is I'll sort of take over on that conversation to what he was saying. For those of you who were watching with us, if you are just joining us, remember to share, like, and comment on today's show. You will definitely need to go and watch us on Roku, YouTube, or even come back and watch it here because you missed a little bit from the first portion of today's show, and I definitely want you to get the whole show. But for now, Natasha and I were speaking about this whole process of the term that women tend to say where they do not need a man to support them. And I get the term, I understand the term, but I think it's actually sabotaging a lot of women. And what I mean by that is that women are saying, because they are entrepreneurs and they have climbed the ladder tremendously over the last, oh my God, I can't even tell, maybe 10, 15 years. And their mindset is, well, I don't need a man to financially support me because they can support themselves. But they don't realize that by making that statement, the universe cannot separate the fact that they don't need a man to support them financially because they could do it on their own. The universe can't do that. The universe just hears, you don't need support. So that means any place in your life that you're looking for support, whether it be somebody to help you carry groceries, someone that you can actually sit and talk to because you need an ear, someone that you're going to do some sort of business connections with, those are all relating to support. And even for that matter, being in a relationship with a man, or being in a relationship with a partner in general, you're literally blocking yourself from that actual relationship, from those words of, I don't need a man to support me. You have to find a different way of saying that. And the reality is, you do want a man to support you. You want a man to be able to sit there and listen to you when you're having a rough day. You want a man to support you in your dreams, your desires, and your wants. You want that partner to be there with you, to go through this whole process of having a partner, because that's really what it is. It's a partner. So whether it's your significant other as your partner or your actual business partner, because once you state those words, you're literally causing a block in anything that involves support. So if you're asking, if you've said that comment to out loud, most of the times we say it to our girlfriends. We'll be in that deep, let's get together girl night, and we'll be sitting there talking about how great we are and magnificent and how powerful and empowering we are. We make that darn statement of, I don't need a man to support me. Well, I want you to take that statement back. And I want you to try to rephrase that statement in another way, because reality of it, when you really think about the bigger picture, you want support. You're desiring support because you're literally blocking. And when we think about the chakra system, because I always like to talk about the chakras, and I always like to connect whatever's going on in our external world with what's going on in our internal body, and the chakra associated with exactly the feminine and masculine energy is our sacral chakra. When we think about the sacral chakra, that's the chakra that allows us to create. That's the chakra that allows us to birth the things we're looking to birth. So if you've made that comment one time or another in your life, I want you to really focus on working on your sacral energy. So this way here, you can clear whatever blocks that you have and find a different way to be empowered by saying that, yes, you're an established woman and you make your own money, which is great. But be so open to the fact that when you find a partner, you connect with a partner, whatever it may be open to the fact that you want your partner to support you financially, emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. You want that support. You want that balance, because that's really what it is when we think about that masculine and feminine energy. We want that balance. If we are constantly in a space of always being in charge, and we never let the partner, whether it's a friendship, intimate relationship, a sibling, or even your child for that matter, if you are always looking to be in charge and you never allow that other person to step into their process, it's an imbalance. And that's really when I think about it, that's really what I get from it, is that it's imbalance. Now, I know for myself, many years ago, and I actually wrote about this in an article that's appeared in many different magazines based on my self-confidence, and that's the title of the article. I know for me, I've always been told through different readings that I've had that I carried a lot of masculine energy. Now, before taking the Taz class, I was always under the impression that it just meant that because I worked out that I looked masculine. And when I first heard that expression, the first thing I thought was like, oh, wow, I'm going to have to change the way I do my workouts. I'm going to have to change my whole physique. And I was just like, well, I don't really want to do that. I don't want to change my physique. I like the way my body physically looks. But then learning that that's not exactly what the information, the guidance I was receiving was all about. It was really about me learning how to be able to step in more into my feminine power to be able to receive, Where yes, when you're an entrepreneur, you own your own business, you're your own boss, which means you're the alpha, you're the person that's going to be making all the demands. But sometimes it's really nice to like delegate and say to somebody, I need help. I need help doing this. I don't need to do this all by myself. And being able to be softer about it. And when I use the word softer, meaning not come off so rough, so to speak, or so like bossy, which is what I just heard, bossy. Because we have a tendency as entrepreneurs to be bossy, where we're always in that command mode of, well, this needs to be done this way. And stepping into that feminine energy and recognizing that it doesn't need to be done this way. It could be done, I need your support. I need your help. Can you help me do it this way, please? Or do you have a better way that you can do this with me so this can work out better? And then it moves into that space. And it then allows for the man, whether again, this is your significant other, your sibling, your friend, or your actual partner in business, it allows the man to step into his feminine role as well. Because just before Natad unfortunately left us, he was just speaking about how men are theoretically the more emotional sex than the female is. But because for many, many, many years, at least the 51 years I've been on this earth, I've always known that men were told as children, no, when you fall, get up, wipe it off, rough it out and move it along, no tears. And after a child does that over and over again, they become to the point where they don't recognize, they don't feel. They're not in touch with their feelings because they've been told over and over again, just wipe it off and let's move it on. And that's not always the best way of going about it. So now, after all these years that men have been told, you don't need to cry, you don't need to show your emotions, here us women come around and we're looking for our men to be emotional. We want them to share their emotions. We want to know how they're feeling. In fact, interesting enough, because I always bounce it back to the cosmic world, the moon. The moon is associated with our heart chakra, and it means, how am I feeling? And every 2.5 days, the moon rotates to a different astrological sign. And it could be fire, it could be air, it could be earth, it could be water. Now, if the moon happens to fall into a water sign, we might be feeling more emotional than usual. So for a man, that might very well cause that man to want to his feelings to show up and be a little bit emotional. But because for all these years, men have been programmed to not show their emotions. So here in the Tide talks about how they are more emotional than women are. And all these years, they've actually been told not to show their emotions. So it contradicts each other. So here as women, it's our job, I believe, to help our men feel more secure, safe, and be able to step into their vulnerability so they can feel their emotions and allow themselves to step into that feminine energy as they're supposed to be anyway. They're supposed to be more emotional than us, because that's just what it is. So now as women, I think it's our job to help them to do that. So to allow them to feel that comfortability, that security, that safe haven, so to speak, so they can tap into their emotions. So coming back in, I'm going to wheel it back in reference to, again, women, entrepreneurs who sit back and say, I don't need a man to support me. We're gonna let go of that statement. That's our old programming, and we're just gonna be open to the fact that yes, we are empowering women. We manage our own businesses, which is amazing, but we are very open to having a man right by our side who's very supportive in what we do, and that we come together to balance one another's energy. So to uplift each other as opposed to downgrading each other, and encourage the man in our life to know that, you know what, I can use your support. I want to sit down and tell you all about my day, and hopefully you'll be open to listening to what it is I need to talk to about my day. I want to, as they call it, vent about my day, and letting the man know that you don't have to fix this. This is just about me venting. So it takes away his worry of like, oh my God, I got to fix something, you know, for whether it be your wife, your sister, your friend, your partner, whatever it is, but you're leaning onto them for that support. And then they feel more as though they're needed. And then it comes into that role of feminine and masculine energy of balancing the whole equation of the two energies together. And these are things that I actually learned while taking the Todd's class in the 8 weeks. And there was so much more as well. I mean, Todd and I had many one-on-one sessions prior to class and in class where there was a lot of engagement in reference to the whole conversation of the feminine and the masculine, and really getting to understand the two. Because as there's so many different things going on in our world right now, where a lot of our patterns, habits, beliefs, and programming needs to change. And I think this is one of those things that need to change, and recognize that we all have the ability to have the feminine and masculine energy, and to work it in so we can be completely balanced in our own energy, and calling in other people to help us balance that energy. And I think that's an empowering statement right there. Now, I don't know if my guest is going to be returning back today. I was sort of hoping he'd be back on by now, but I don't know. And we're almost to that point. We're like about 10 minutes to the show. So, but do note that I will be having the Todd back on. He's going to be back on next week, and I believe he's back on the 3rd week of August as well. And no, I'm sorry. He's today, which is the 1st, the 2nd, and then he's on the 4th week. He's not on the 3rd week. So we will definitely be revisiting this conversation, because it's a really empowering one. And hopefully, you know, whatever, I'm sure it's all technical difficulties, because that's what happens with technology. So again, what I would like to do before I do take a quick commercial break is I like to announce our raffle winner from last week. So let me get my paperwork out for that. The raffle winner for last week is, and I'm sure there's a flyer, last week's winner is CJ Ives Lopez. She's won a session with Kendrick. So if she's not watching live with us yet, right now, I will definitely be messaging her to let her know. So congratulations to CJ Ives Lopez. You've won a session with Kendrick, and I tell you, it's an amazing one. And then also there will be a raffle winner, a raffle giveaway for today. I was sort of thinking that Natad was going to give that, but I will offer it since he's not here. So for anyone who has shared, liked, and comment, you're going to get your name in a raffle box, possibly get a chance to win. You're going to win a 30-minute Cosmic Energy Soul reading with me. That's the raffle winning for today's show. So go ahead and share, like, and comment. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when I come back, I'm going to give you the conclusion of today's show.
Hey, this is Joe Monkman, and I am a personal development trainer. And that means that I help people step into their leadership roles, take their place as a visionary, really understand their own mastery in the world so that they can really find their place at the buffet of life. And if you want to know more, you can find me on my Facebook page at Joe Monkman and joemonkman@gmail.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Natan Bradbury. I'm a veteran, Kabbalist, mystic, coach, and spiritual mentor. I have been blessed to help many students on their spiritual journey over the last 20 years. I am currently the founder of the Mystic Warrior Academy, and what we're doing is we're helping veterans heal from the inside out, overcome any sort of emotional trauma that they've been through. So if you're a veteran, a therapist, or a coach, and are interested in learning more about our program, you can contact us directly at info@mysticwarrioracademy.com. Blessings.
Did you know that astrology and numerology influences your metabolism and weight? Hello, I'm Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your certified holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, student of astrology, master of numerology, and the creator of the Chakra Balance Numerology Cosmic Energy Forecast Deck. And I help women and men by referral release issues from their tissues while releasing emotional weight and falling in love with themselves. As I witness the transformation of watching each client become the best version of who they are. To redeem your first discovery session at 10% off, email healingwithin76@gmail.com. I do look forward to helping you release your issues from your tissues and falling in love with yourself. Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. I am your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne. And for those of you who are just tuning in with me, remember to share, like, and comment. You are definitely going to need to come back and watch today's show. As I did have a guest, unfortunately technology took over and took him away. But the conversation was amazing from what I had with him. He will be back next week as well. So we're just going to continue today's conversation next Sunday, which my amazing guest was Natan Bradbury. And we're talking about the feminine and masculine energy and how different it really is from what we know of it. So again, go back and watch the beginning later on either Roku, YouTube, or come here and watch it on Strong Island Television. And I want to just dive into our promotional flyers because there are a lot of people out there doing some amazing things that I wanted to go ahead and promote them. So to start off with, we're going to start with Alive Health Solutions. Are you frustrated with the lack of answers and progression? You can actually meet with Gabriella for that. Moving into the author's porch, I've mentioned about CJ Ives earlier. Again, she's got an amazing podcast and magazine. Then we have Intuition of the Soul, which you can join their Facebook. They have something going on every single day. They have monthly events, and then they also have weekly events as well. One of the events that I participated in, which takes place on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. If you are someone who likes to do readings and you want to practice, definitely connect with the intuition of the souls. Moving on to a forgiveness workshop. Who doesn't want to learn how to forgive? And that takes place Saturday, August 28th at 10 a.m. Feel free to view that flyer. Moving into one of my favorite ones, which is Spirit Messages, hosted by Joe Monkman. Takes place every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You definitely want to come join us. He literally connects with Spirit, gives us guidance. He usually has 3 words of the day that we tap into. And then the last half hour of our time together, he does individual messages, assuming time permits. So please check out that flyer and connect with him if that's something you would like to do. And we are here in Holistic Fitness. I am offering a psychic fair, yes, on site. So if you are interested in connecting with someone where you can get a reading, connect with a medium, psychic, clairvoyant, whatever have you, they're going to be here, right here on September 25th. It's a Saturday. I believe the time is from 12 to 5 p.m. Check out the flyer, reserve, reserves, reserve. And then a real big one taking place, really excited about it, next Sunday. Next Sunday is August 8th, which is the 8/8 Lionsgate Activation Energy. If you know anything about cosmic energy, then you definitely know that the Lionsgate Activation Day is a very powerful day. Nonetheless, it's also a new moon. And get ready for this excitement. We are hosting an event right here on Strong Island. Right here, actually Paradise Studio, not Strong Island Television. Maybe we should take it live. We'll have to talk to Bobby about that one. But anyway, on that date, we are offering a Lionsgate activation. Myself and an amazing host, Georgia Rose. The two of us are going to come together. We're going to provide Reiki, and we're going to do some connecting with spirit as well. You're going to get a whole lot from that circle. It's a 2-hour event. You're going to get numerology. You're going to get astrology. You're going to get Reiki. You're going to get spirit. Oh, my Lord. You are definitely going to walk in one way and walk out a totally different way because, again, the whole process is the Lionsgate activation. And between Georgia and I, we are definitely going to be activating you to become a better version of who you are. Promise you that. And then last but not least, we have the Chakra Balance Reiki Circle, which I finally brought back after about a year and a half here at Holistic Fitness on site. This will be the third circle I've had in the last 3 months. I'm really excited about it. What makes my circle different from any other circle out there is not only do you receive Reiki, but you also get to participate by giving Reiki, because my circle is an actual practicing circle. Whether you are a practitioner, a level 1, or you've never done Reiki before, in the circle, you get to practice, you get to receive. There's a whole lot going on in that session. So that's taking place the last Sunday of the month. I believe that's August 25th. Time takes place from 7 to 9 p.m. You do need to reserve your spot. And to do that, just email healingwithin76@gmail.com. So I think I've covered all of the major announcements. Well, not all of them. There's still one or two that I want to mention. Now, because we are already the 1st of August, those of you who follow me on a regular basis, you know that the first Wednesday of every month, I have my radio show, Joanne's Cosmic Energy Radio Show. And I have an amazing guest coming on, Adam. I don't know how to say his last name either. Like I said, guys, I am awful when it comes to last names. My apologies. But you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. He and I are going to be speaking about mental health issues. And it's one of my favorite topics because it really dives into the mental health issues versus psychic abilities. And him and I are going to be speaking about that. So it's going to be really, really fun. Again, that's on this Wednesday, on August 4th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So join us there. And I think I've covered it. I think I got it all. I think I said it all. So again, come join me here next Sunday. I'm actually going to be on site. Wow, you won't see my gym next Sunday because I'll be on site at Paradise Studios for our Lionsgate activation group. I'm looking forward to it. So feel free to leave questions, comments, whatever have you, share, like, and comment. I do look forward to connecting with each and every one of you. I will go ahead and check out the comments later. I will reply to those comments. And again, a big shout out to CJ Ives Lopez for being our raffle winner for this week. You've won a session with Kendrick. Oh my God, I tell you, you're gonna love him. I love him myself. I'll see all of you next week. Bye-bye for now.